Welcome to Golden Mastermind Seminars Radio with your host, Jeffrey Combs.
Good afternoon, Tuesday afternoon, Facebook Live. Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated, Jeffery Combs, good to be here with you on Facebook Live 2 for Tuesday. Breathing, releasing, and letting go. A lot of production going on at the Golden Mastermind Seminar Studios. Today, as we are in preparation, my team, my wife, Henry Klauke, and myself are in preparation for the 2-day annual Millionaire Blueprint event this Friday and Saturday. We have 32 attendees, best attendance we've had in 2 years. Looking forward to a great event. Lynette, good to see you this afternoon. Topic for today's Facebook Live is improving your ability to attract. Attraction is a skill, and when you are skilled at attraction, you'll attract your reality more frequently. Like-minded success seekers, you'll attract like-minded entrepreneurs, you'll attract a soulmate, teammates, vendors, contractors, you'll attract an assistant, you'll attract, in a higher law of frequency, you'll attract your reality, people, situations, and opportunities that feel more collaborative. There's less competition. It'll feel more loving. It'll feel more open. It'll feel a level of inspiration versus desperation, anxiety, fear, and or doubt. Gloria, good to see you on this afternoon's call. Lisa, good to see you. If you first saw me last night on Brittany Cara's team call, thank you for joining me this afternoon. This is a weekly call that I host every single Tuesday at 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock Eastern time. I've been hosting this Facebook Live for 5 years. Prior to this time slot, for 20 years, I hosted a More Heart Than Talent Mindset conference call from 1998 for a 20-year period up until 2018. So I've been hosting these calls and Facebook Live for 25 years. Good to have you here with me today. The topic for today's Facebook Live is improving who and what you attract. Attraction is a skill. Now, for those of you who have been married before and divorced, or you've been fired, or you've had jobs and you've had businesses that was sabotaged due to situations, or you attracted a narcissist to your reality. If you're an adult child of alcoholics, if you're an adult child of narcissists, there's a high probability that your intimate relationships are not going to be good early in your life, because we will attract to our reality people and situations that will fulfill our feelings. As you begin to read the books, as you listen to the content, as you move into sobriety, as you have a better understanding of attraction being a skill rather than just being a random act that you go out there and you find someone, you date, mate, marry, hold their hands, have children with them, and then you found out that you married the worst narcissist in the stadium. Or you got hired by a job and you thought it was going to be a great job, and you find out that your boss, the owner, they put you under a lot of trauma, stress, anxiety, or situations. Now, there is the luck of the draw syndrome, but if you attract your reality frequently, the same type of perpetrator, violator, situation that you feel disempowered, overwhelmed, and anxiety, fear, and doubt, it's time for you to understand that attraction is a skill. So if you are on my email list, I send these out every week. This was the syllabus for today's Facebook Live, and then every Monday I post the points to the Facebook Live. So point number 1 here, and I also write it out for myself. There it is. So point number 1 is this. It's improving your ability to attract. The way you improve your ability to attract is that you acknowledge that attraction is a skill. And so if you're looking for a dog, a horse, a teammate, a soulmate, you want the ideal dog. You don't want the dog from hell. You don't want the horse that bucks you off all the time. You don't want the horse that bites you. You want the warm, loving dog, horse, cat that acknowledges you, not the dog, horse, cat that's like your mother or like your father, whoever that you grew up with that traumatized you. We tend to attract our reality, people and situations to fulfill our feelings. If you feel not good enough, if you feel lonely, if you feel abandoned or rejected, this will show up in who and what you attract. As you change and improve how you feel about yourself, there's a probability through the law of averages, you're going to improve your attractor factor, your ability to attract. This is your ability to interview, your ability to read a situation for what it is, your ability to ask the questions in a sequence, your ability to intuit, to trust your intuition, your extrasensory perception, your ability to cast the burden to the Christ within, your ability to read a situation much better than what it is. This will require you to let go of your codependent tendencies. Codependency is an addiction based on over-obligating yourself, based on growing up in a household where you lose your identity, you lose your innocence, and you become a grown-up long before your time. You're put in a position to be a caretaker for the family. You become a therapist to one of your parents. You become the brother or the sister to one of your parents, the confidant to one of your parents. You get groomed by them. Any multitude of situations that put you in an adult situation when you're a child leads to codependence. And that addiction is based on enabling, over-obligating, doing more for others than doing it for yourself, people-pleasing, worrying about others, living in guilt, living in worries about being selfish, and other situations that rob you of your power and your energy. So in that addiction, you will attract addicts. And so typically the 12 steps of codependency was structured around the family or the significant other, the spouse of an alcoholic. That's the original origin of codependency. Melody Beattie wrote the book in the early 80s, Codependent No More, the groundbreaking book that became the real fundamentals of the 12-step program, CODA and Al-Anon. Now, in taking it to the next level and where we are today, in 2023, most all of us have codependent tendencies. I know I am one. I'm recovering from codependency. I've been in codependent recovery since 2009. Dysfunctional relationships to fulfill the feelings of not being good enough. Intimate relationships where there's lack of intimacy, or relationships where I or we attract another addict to fulfill our feelings, which keeps us in fight or flight, not feeling good enough, overwhelmed in a multitude of situations. So in assessing yourself, it's important that you feel that you're in some level of emotional recovery. And that emotional recovery means you're going back-to-back days without criticizing yourself, back-to-back days without binging or purging, or back-to-back days where you have clear boundaries with the relationships that you know are dysfunctional and you know have boundaries with them. One of the biggest challenges for most of the world is separating themselves from their family where there's narcissism, perpetrators, violators, guilters, and shamers who use these words and use these tactics to keep you feeling overwhelmed. It's very challenging for many people to become honest. You have to stop making excuses for people. You have to stop saying, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, but. No, it's not fine, it's dysfunctional. And when you're able to admit these situations, and when you complain about these people, and then I see you on the weekends in pictures with them, making up these lies about them after you've told me these things about them, that's on you to understand. That's how you continue to stay in these dysfunctional relationships. Healthy boundaries. And in changing who and what you attract, it's important that you are rigorously honest about people without being critical of them or yourself, but being rigorously honest at their character defects, your character defects, and then improving the boundaries that you structure for yourself and for who you let in your life. But if you continue to be guilted by people and you continue to get seduced into these people's energy, spiritual vampires, emotional vampires, if you continue to do this, you'll continue to attract these people in a business, in your life, in your intimate relationships, and you'll keep perpetuating the same situation over and over. I've coached people who they put children in their businesses, and then their children became adults, and then their children that were adults stole money from the businesses, and they continue to keep them in the business. I've seen children practice identity theft of their parents, or their parents practice identity theft of their children, and then run up credit cards on their names. I mean, I have coached a lot of dysfunction of these dysfunctional families where the challenges of the separation and the boundaries becomes very, very muddled. And if you find yourself in these situations, if you're going to change who and what you attract, you have to look right there in the foundation of who and what you're attracted to. Now, if you have great relationships in your family, that is awesome. But if you don't, and you keep letting these people in your life without having clear boundaries, well, then it's going to continue to perpetuate itself in your outer world. So it's important to be rigorously honest about who and what you attract right now. I want to say hello to everyone who's on the Facebook Live here today. Janet, Christina, Cheryl Lynn, Valerie. Who do we have here? A lot. Charles, Quinn, Kevin, Meg, Scott, Heather, Lucy, Netta, Jennifer, Gloria. Good to see all of you here this afternoon. Lynette, Lisa. So a lot of people here following the content. If you just joined today, the topic is attraction is a skill. Now, I have become skilled at attracting to my reality quality, like-minded, and so that you can fill in the blanks. And my intimate personal relationships were disasters for a large component of my life. I have been in codependent recovery for the last 14 years, improving on who and what I attract intimately. And I have been able to attract higher caliber quality of people in my business ventures, my coaching business, but my intimate relationships, I would have more challenges there than any other situation of my life as I was in recovery. And I realized how codependent I was, and I began to understand that in the mid-2000s. It was at that point that I moved into codependent recovery in 2009. Now, it's important that you assess where you are in your intimate relationships, where you are in your personal relationships. Are your relationships empowering the people you have in your influence, or do you feel that people don't respect you? Are your intimate relationships warm and loving, or are they distant and do you feel left out? Are you comfortable being alone without these relationships? Are you a man's man? Do you have to go on hunting trips and smoke cigars with the boys and hang out at happy hour? Or do you require your BFFs to go out and shop and then you feel left out if you don't have these relationships? The best case scenario is you are so comfortable with yourself that you don't require outside influence, and then you don't feel rejected or abandoned if you don't get invited to the party, or you don't get invited to the wedding, and you don't feel like you got ghosted and gaslighted, and you're able to be so comfortable with yourself and your own humility that you don't feel rejected, abandoned, and you feel so humble that you can't be humiliated. In David Hawkins' groundbreaking book, Letting Go, chapter 9 covers pride, and then that chapter goes into humility. It's some of the best content I personally have ever read in my journey of recovery, spirituality, quantum physics, relationships, business. It's groundbreaking content, and it's important that you grasp that. So the attraction is a science. So in attracting people to your reality, it's important you have a clear understanding and a clear picture of who you seek to attract. If you own an insurance business, if you own a real estate business, a network marketing business, if you're selling products online, who is your ideal teammate? Who's your ideal candidate? Who are you looking for? If you're dating, if you're looking for a soulmate, who are you looking for? Do you want someone that has 9 kids and still is in a marriage and is not divorced? Are you looking for someone who is comfortable with their past and is comfortable with whether they've been divorced or not, but they're comfortable with themselves? I see people as a dating coach entangle themselves in these relationships that have so much drama, so much chaos, and they just keep perpetuating the same situation, fulfilling the same feelings, which creates the payoff. Now, if you have a better understanding of who you are and what you seek to attract, that is clarity. And if you have moved into higher levels of consciousness, into love, joy, bliss, and you live there more frequently, if you're living in prosperity, reciprocity, and you feel comfortable with yourself, there's a higher probability that you'll attract more enlightened success seekers, more enlightened people that you can be charitable with, more enlightened people that you can be in business with. Now, when I go into restaurants, I'm a restaurateur, so I grew up in restaurants, and I'm very skilled at meeting the hostess, the bartenders, the servers, the waiters, the staff, and I'm very skilled at tipping and understanding. And so I tend to have best tables in the houses, have great service from the waiters and waitresses. I grew up in the industry, so I have a tremendous amount of respect for what they go through. And I learned how to tip early in my relationships in restaurants, so I tend to have exceptional service. Now, the same situation applies with airlines, and that really comes down to how you treat people and then how you want people to treat you. But if you're not, people aren't going to treat you great because you try and control the outcome. And if you're an addicted server and you tend to overserve and then get disappointed because you don't get the recognition that you're seeking, well, that would be a situation for you to really look at and understand why you do what you do. If you have a daughter, a son, a brother, a sister, family members that violate you, it's important that you understand, what are these dynamics about? Why is this happening? Not why does this happen to me from a victim, but why is this happening? Why am I attracting to my reality these situations to fulfill these feelings of abandonment, rejection, apathy, and grief? And as you have a better understanding of this and clearer boundaries, then you won't let these people guilt you or violate you. This begins to change your attractor factor. It'll change who and what you attract. If you're building a direct sales business, a network marketing business, an insurance business, and you're seeking teammates, you're looking for productive teammates who are independent, not codependent. You're looking for productive teammates who have circles of influence. If you're building a construction business or real estate business, you're looking for quality buyers. You're looking for quality people who not only will buy from you with ease without a lot of complications, you're also looking for people who will offer you referrals. So those referrals in any situations become organic, and the referrals are going to be a byproduct of the person you have become. But if you try to control people, if you try to do too much for people, it will usually backfire and blow up in your face. As you have a better understanding of how to get along, how to communicate with people, how to collaborate with people, how to attract people, your attractor factor will consistently improve. And it's amazing what happens if you're building a leveraged business, network marketing, direct sales, insurance, because that really comes down to who and what you attract. That's your ability to attract, your ability to lead, your ability to be a mentor, your ability to master all the moving parts, to be skilled at organization. It requires a lot of skills to build a leveraged business that comes down to attraction. And attraction is an absolute skill. And when you become skilled at it, you'll begin to enhance your law of averages of who and what you attract. But if your communication is there aren't any men out there aren't any women out there, men are this, women are this, if you de-edify, if you talk down about, if you criticize different people like this, you'll continue to attract the same situation over and over. It was very common back in my era of network marketing and direct sales for people to say, I don't have anyone in my circle of influence, or my leads suck. Well, that would be a direct reflection of the energy that you're putting out and then your mindset about the situation before you start. I used to buy 50-cent leads, and I used to buy 10-cent leads. I'd buy 500 leads for $50, 10-cent leads. And I would be able to close sales off them. Other people say these leads suck. And well, I never had that attitude or that mindset. And I would put ads in newspapers, and I would do postcards, and I would get more leads than anyone else in my circle of influence, and people would complain about their leads. But my belief is that I'm very skilled at attracting and creating leads. And because that was my belief, I attracted to my reality people and situations that would foster that belief. Your belief is your sense of certainty. So if you believe there aren't any good men out there, well, you're correct. And if you believe there aren't any good women out there that are available, well, you're correct there. And if you believe that people are ghosting you, well, you're correct there. This is a term that people use frequently. People don't ghost you. They're not interested, or you've spent too much time on them and they're not willing to get back with you. And this is what letting go is, the separation from the feelings and the events that shape them. One of the key skills to learn in attraction is to be non-attached to the outcome. And there is no yeah, but in that. Non-attachment allows you to operate fully in life without being attached to the outcome. It means exactly what it means. It means you are not attached. It means you're not blaming other people. You're not making it about someone else. You're fully responsible for your feelings and your actions. You no longer procrastinate and avoid. You're fully engaged in life. You're being your best self one day at a time. You're letting go. You're separating your feelings from the events that shape them. You're eliminating your excuses one by one until where you get to a place where you are out of excuses. And when you're in that place, now you're elevating your consciousness. You're attracting to your reality quality, like-minded success seekers that you can collaborate with. You're attracting vendors, contractors. You're attracting men and women you can be intimate with. You can date, you can mate, you can marry. You're attracting leads. You're attracting teammates. You're attracting customers and clients who offer you referrals. What does it mean? It means you're in the flow of life. And in that flow, you're living in less anxiety, fear, and doubt. You're not making up stories about the future that hasn't happened. You're not living in trauma-based mind control, buying into what's going on behind the veil. You're doing your best to be your best in spite and despite of the circumstances, attracting to your reality people who you can share warmth, love, joy, bliss, that you feel passion with, you feel inspired with. There are so many good people waiting to meet you. Breathe, release, and let go, and attract your reality, quality, like-minded, you fill in the blank, soulmate, teammate, success seekers, vendors, contractors, people I can be friendly with, any multitude of situation. Word is law, speaking into existence, the very situation you seek to create. My name is Jeffery Combs. I'm the president and founder of Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated. Today is Tuesday. I'll be back online here this evening at 9 p.m. Pacific, and then tomorrow I'll be back online at 9 p.m. Pacific again. Thank you very much, everyone. If you've not accessed a free 20-minute coaching call, feel free to reach up there, send me a message, and I will respond to you immediately. Have a great afternoon.